Hello, hello. Welcome to another night of Beyond the Witchlight with Misfit Table. Any announcements at the beginning of this thing?
I don't think anything in particular. I've already mentioned we're going to be doing Street Fighter as our bonus round coming up this month.
Yes, that's nice. That's a good reminder.
A date by the next time we get together. We should have a date. But it is so cool, you guys. I'm getting jazzed, and I encourage anyone who wants to get in the spirit of things to go watch like Karate Kid or Big Trouble Comes to Little China.
Yeah, Street Fighter the movie, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, Street Fighter.
Which one? Like 1, 2, 3? Then...
All of them. All of them. There's only one extended watch style edition. Start in the morning and you watch all the Street Fighter movies. All the games, everything else.
Yeah, there's plenty of inspirational material out there.
It's a very curious game. Like, I'm curious about character creation and abilities and stuff like that. Well, let's get into that when we do that.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. It's going to be
awesome. I would imagine. So for everybody out there, just another quick introduction. I think we've done one for a little while. My name is Rob. I run this game. I'm the DM. I'm the crazy person that came up with this crazy idea to run The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, although the idea to run a game, that is mostly Ashton and Callie. How about the two of you introduce yourselves?
Sure.
Go first, Callie.
Yeah, why not? I'm Callie McSaylor. I am an artist, a professional dungeon master, and now a player on Twitch. I run a tabletop role-playing game company called Story Tables with my husband, Ashton, who will now introduce himself.
I also run Story Tables with Callie. We do mostly professional games for kids, although also some professional games for, like, as team building exercises for corporate teams that are looking for something a little different.
And we just booked another one today.
Yeah, more on that later for you guys, at least. Yeah, that's pretty much us. I think Callie and I are sort of, you could describe us as the producers of this channel. And we brought, these amazing, talented people to join us and make an awesome show. Yeah.
All right. Who are you two playing? Just to remind everybody.
I am playing Tiana. She is a gnome barbarian, and she's a lovable rage monster. She's most of the time, like 90% of the time, she's super cute and sweet and motherly. And then the other 10% of the time, it's just pure rage. Just pure rage.
I think it might be more than 10%. I feel like this game has pushed those buttons a lot.
I mean, she's in a circumstance.
And I'm playing Thorn. I just really like my friends, and I want everybody to get along. I am a bard fighter.
Things will continue until morale improves.
No, true. Brandon, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, hi. My name is Brandon Jenkins. I'm also an artist, an aspiring voice actor, and I play Sulphira Eventide, Twilight Cleric of Selûne, who has become increasingly uncomfortable the longer we've been here. Where is the moon? Where are the stars? Where is the sun? What is happening? And now Hag.
Where's the sky?
Where's the sky? Great question. Where is the sky?
How long until Sulphira breaks from having like this disconnect?
We'll see.
We'll see. Let's see if I can't have that sooner rather than later. I want to see what happens when Sulphira finally just loses it.
I do too. Oh my god. I love really calm, peaceful characters. Just like, what's the tipping point,
This is a challenge, I see. All right, Chad, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chad Yarish. I am an actor, voiceover, stage, I'm a member of the Reduced Shakespeare Company, if you've ever heard of them. I am playing Samarand Ludd, half-elf, lovable rogue. And I'm having a good time.
Nice. Do you guys remember where we left off? I think I need to maybe set this scene a tiny bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
It was a dramatic scene.
it was sort of a dramatic scene. You have finally made your way into the presence of someone that you've heard of pretty much since like the beginning of this. One of these sort of infamous legendary hags that rules these three realms of Prismere. Bavlorna Blightstraw. You made your way to Downfall, this town where bullywugs rule and constantly plot amongst each other to see who's going to rule next and who's going to end up with their head on a pike. You've talked to a few people in this town and eventually built up the courage to go to Bavlorna's cottage, enter the place, and meet with her. I got to say, I was pretty impressed that you didn't like open up every door and begin searching this place like like most adventurers would do. What's in this person's closet, and what's behind this door? It was there was a lot of I think a lot of temptation to do that, and you were maybe smart not to. Who knows? There's a lot of dark spots on this map that you haven't been to, and who knows what mysteries lie beyond.
We got a lot of lectures about hospitality, and I was like, oh dear.
True hospitality. And you sort of found that when you arrived finally in this study on the second floor. You found Bavlorna sitting in this couch, a couple of her little miniature versions of herself, her circus thieves kind of attending to her. And she's in this middle of a meeting with a woman that some of you, or at least one of you, had caught a glimpse of in the waters of the swamp not too long ago. This woman dressed in dark clothes, sort of like a witch-like hat. And you have noticed that she has no shadow. And in your brief glimpse in the waters, was it Sam, right? Sam saw that?
No, I saw Clacky McClackerson.
Oh,
Clapperclaw.
I can't remember who saw it, but somebody saw this woman arriving here at the cottage and her shadow basically slipping away and up through a window into some other place here. Something else is going on in this hut, and you have no idea if Bavlorna is aware of it, who this other woman is. But Bavlorna has invited you in with as much grace as a frog-faced hag can muster, and seems happy to have visitors, or at least entertained by them. What are your thoughts here? This is the first hag you've encountered. You know that there are three of them.
Tread very lightly.
Yeah.
Didn't you say her mouth went way farther than it should, and she's got rows of teeth and...
Yes, she's got these very blunt teeth, but there's a lot of them. And when she speaks, her mouth opens abnormally large, sort of like a snake with a hinged jaw that just like a frog sort of in a way. Like her it looks kind of normal at first until she starts speaking, and then it just something unnatural about that. Unnaturally wide, cavernous, and of course flies are kind of going in and out of her mouth, and there's drool coming down, big yellow teeth, and this long sort of purplish tongue. She's disturbing looking.
Oh god.
And she's got these little mini-me versions of her on her couch, kind of combing at her hair, occasionally picking something out of it, maybe eating it, or fixing the folds on her clothes. What her clothes look like awful. Looks like she's wearing a muumuu that's 10 years old, and it's just ragged, and you can't tell if there's a pattern on her, if it's just stained. And she's crouched up on this couch as if she's sort of like a frog, ready to just leap anywhere in the room.
I kind of just hit the back of Samaran's knee. Like, introduce us.
Oh, right, that's me. Sorry. Hello. Your ladyships or something. I'm Sam. This is Thorn. That's Sylphira, and that's Tanner. And well, I mean, it's probably not a big surprise why we're here. We were hoping to have a chat and maybe, talk about some things that we've lost and you might know where they are. That sort of thing.
What sort of things have you lost?
Well, I had a little stone that my mom gave me. So that was important. And also about 8 years of memories just gone.
Something small and something large, then.
Yeah, got to balance it out.
And where did you lose these things?
Well, at the Witchlight Carnival.
The carnival.
Yeah.
Did you lose them? Or were they paid?
No, that was taken without asking. That I would consider to be theft of a kind.
There is no theft at the carnival. No. Only prices that have not yet been paid.
Listen, we were set up. The whole thing was a setup.
Oh, was that my fault? Did I do that?
No, I suppose it wasn't your fault, but, it wasn't our
then
fault.
whose fault is it? Tell me your story.
The
I hope
person
it's a
who
sad
tricked us.
one. Tricked? Who tricked you?
Brandon forgot his name, but Sylphira with her crazy notes. What's his name? Dude's name?
I
Gave us
lost
the bunk
my
tickets.
note.
The bard? Or the
The bard was named, but he was actually
no.
not the bard. He's our
No,
grandfather.
it was the rich dude.
It was that nobleman.
Collector?
the caller.
Caller.
Bertrand Fairvale. That's the guy we got the tickets from, right?
That's
Bertrand Fairvale was the noble that you got the tickets from, sort of. But the bard, whom we now know to be the caller, had a hand in that.
Yes.
And the tickets that you were given, something was wrong with them.
All right. So you say nothing is stolen, only paid. So
yes.
we have paid without receiving anything, which means...
Oh, no, that's not true at all.
Isn't
You
it?
got to enjoy the carnival.
No, we paid fair and square for that.
It also
Oh.
wasn't very enjoyable to have things taken from us.
Oh, well, that is not my fault, no.
All right, lady. What do we got to do to get him back?
Lady,
Let's just cut to the
call
chase.
me lady, she says to the other woman in the chair across the way. She said, lady. She kind of perks up a little bit and kind of like fixes her dress a tiny bit.
Yes, my lady.
Now we're speaking. Yes, this is the way that you speak to your betters. Isn't that right, my lord? And she does sort of like a little bit of a bow to Thorn. Because Thorn has come prepared, right?
He did, yeah. I've got the Witchlight Monarch crown back on now.
Mm-hmm.
I will bow back to her exactly as deeply as she bowed or curtsied or whatever to me. Like, sort of making the statement, or sort of, I don't know, equals? I don't really know, but that's just what I'm going for. And be like, my lady, all this, it's water under the bridge. What we need to know is how to get these things back.
Yes. Well, a stone. I don't remember collecting a stone from anyone.
I
And these memories of yours, What are they of? Years? That is unusual. Unusual. Not normally the way that I deal with things, but sometimes, perhaps.
Well, I'm pretty sure you actually might not have Sam's things, but I need my dreams back, and my brother Thorn here, he can't feel hot and cold anymore.
Is that true?
Yes, milady.
She looks down at one of the little creatures that's with her and says, "Little chip off the old block, you." Kind of gives it a pat on the head.
What's this creature look like?
It looks like her, but it's really small.
Does it look like the thing we saw when we lost our...
Looks like the thing that Thorn and Tana saw when they passed out at the carnival, that first run around. The one that was on your chest, going, "Ribbit, take it, take it." There's two of them here, and they're identical.
Interesting. I'll reach down and try to pet one of them, see if it'll let me.
You get close to give me a persuasion check. Let's see how you do this. Let's see how it responds.
That is a 13.
It sits there for a moment, and its eyes kind of squint as you like rub its head or whatnot. A little bit of slime comes off, like you just touched a frog fresh out of a pond, and it gives a little bit of like a, and it looks at Bavlorna like it's pleased.
I shake the slime
Have you
off my fingers.
Have you seen my lornlings before?
Yes.
Ah, then perhaps I have collected from you. From both of you, perhaps. What about you, young lady? She says to Sylphira.
I pry my eyes away from who I now know is Glean. What? What?
What, did you lose something too?
I did. Yes.
She kind of looks at you like she's sizing you up in a different way than she's looked at the other members of your group. You look familiar to me.
I step
quite
back.
Put my finger on it.
Nope. I step back. Like a couple of steps. And like guard. Like I visibly tense up a little bit.
No need to be afraid. I won't harm you.
I'm not afraid. I'm just ready.
Ready for what? Ready to run? To hide?
Whatever needs to happen. I don't know what you're about to do, pointing a finger at me. Forgive my rudeness.
You look disturbed. I feel like I've seen that before too, but something else. I don't know. I can't place it. What did you lose? Perhaps that will spark my memories.
I lost the memory of someone dear to me. My mother.
Oh, your mother. Mothers are precious things. Yes, they are. Do you know who my mother is?
I wouldn't even begin to know where to guess.
The most famous of all hags. Famous across many worlds. Baba Yaga. She lives in a hut with legs a little bit like this one, but hers moves. One day I'll figure out that trick. Then I will never need to leave my hut again.
And I'm sure that will be wonderful for you.
Speaking of mothers, there's another thing we lost. And that's our mother and her father.
So many things. So many things lost. I don't remember collecting people.
Well,
At least, that is not what I do. Perhaps my sister, Granny Nightshade, she collects people, though mostly children.
I don't know if they were collected exactly. They might have just come to this realm. Have you seen them?
What do they look like?
I will attempt to describe both of them. I don't know if out of game I got much of a description, but I assume Thorn would know.
I don't know if out of game you had a good one, but one was a dwarf and one was Silfera's father is human, right? No, is he Asimar as well? Okay. So you give that description, and Bavlorna says, they don't sound familiar to me. Are they performers? They actors, singers, anything like that?
No.
No, they were just people.
Just people. That sounds boring.
Thorn looks really crestfallen when she says she hasn't seen them.
Well, it doesn't sound like you want to get out of your hut very often anyway.
Oh, no. No, I don't. So tiresome to leave. But also a sort of pain to stay here. You see, my pool down below, it is clogged. Something has happened to it. It used to be warm and bubbly and full. Now it is shallow and not nearly fragrant enough for my tastes.
Yeah, we could tell that when we came in.
Oh, yes. It's wonderful down there when it works. Something is clogged the well. If you're looking for the things that you've lost, I propose a deal. Perhaps with you, my lord, she says to Thorn.
What did you have in mind?
Well, 3 things for 1. 3 favors due for something collected from you.
Well,
First.
3 for 1?
Oh, yes.
That doesn't seem very balanced.
Oh, not as stealing is not balanced either.
Well, how about 3 for 2? Because Tana and I both lost something. If we...
I have to check my things to see if they are here. I suspect that yours is. Sounds familiar. Dreams, those perhaps as well. She looks closer at Tana and then she extends a finger and kind of curls it. Come here. She reaches out and like touches your forehead with this finger, and it's like you feel kind of sort of like this splat, like when it hits you, like like she hasn't washed her hands, just sort of come out like she's just done dirty dishes, and there's like goo and stuff on them, and like it sticks to your head, like when she touches it. She
One
thinks
of those sticky hands.
yeah, it's like a sticky hand.
Callie's
Like
about
a gumball machine.
Callie's about to burst into song. These are a few of my favorite things.
It's like a sticky hand or like a 5-year-old's fingers or something like that. Just not clean. She thinks for a moment, her eyes sort of squinting down the little slits. And she says, "Oh, dreams. I have those dreams. I can feel them and sense them. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I think you can, too." And you kind of can. You sense that those dreams like are nearby. You feel like this weird sort of vibration or something around you, as if you are suddenly closer to what you seek.
Well, I want them back.
Then you must be willing to trade for them.
3 for 1's not a fair trade. 1 for 1.
No, it's not.
Or 3 for 2 would be okay, I think.
I might consider 4 for 2. But one of them is going to be a big favor.
What kind of favors?
Let's start small now that we're talking. We'll start with the plumbing. Fix my pool. Make sure that it flows smooth and full and fragrant like it did before. Find out what's keeping the well clogged.
All right. Now listen, lady, we're not going to kill anybody. We'll do some plumbing. We'll do some housework. Maybe we'll cook you a pie. That's it.
No, I'm not asking you to kill anyone. No. A
All right.
dead person makes poor deals. And a poor servant.
But better pies.
Better pies. You think I make pies out of people?
I've no idea. I'm new here.
I have never made a pie in my life. I have a cook for that. In fact, you can probably hear her in the other room. And you can kind of hear something. She kind of gestures to the door behind you. And now that you listen, there's some sort of ruckus happening, kind of like further back somewhere in the cottage. You just hear like feet kind of like stop, like heavy boots kind of marching around somewhere back there. And you can hear something grumbling kind of under its breath. And every once in a while you hear a sort of like a strange bird-like noise.
All right. Well, I guess we're fixing some plumbing.
Yes, for one.
All right. But
My
4 for
second
2,
thing,
right?
Yes, four for 2.
I still don't think that's the best deal, but
Well, you can leave now with nothing.
As far as we were told, the rules of your world are a favor for a favor.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, and if you're going to follow the rules of your own plane of... she gets like nervous at this point.
no, you're doing good. Go on.
It should be 1 for 1.
Yeah,
Please.
Reciprocity. I believe that's the word we were given.
We have approached your home
getting
peacefully.
A deal. Not all favors are born equal.
That's not really our problem.
Oh, yes, it is.
Look, you need us just as much as we need you.
Do I need you, though?
Oh, of course. If you want your pool cleaned, obviously none of those belly lickers out there are going to do it for you.
I don't think they have the work ethic.
Well, they don't.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
It's only a matter
Damn.
of time before someone needs something.
Well, and also, someone of your magnificence can afford to be generous.
No, I can't. And don't use that word here. I despise it.
What, magnificence?
That is a good word. It's the other one.
Generosity?
Yes. Ugh.
Thorn's just super confused.
I'm just going to lean into Selphira and just kind of like have her come down and be like, I think it was Sir Talavar that said she doesn't always play by the rules. Which makes
These
me nervous.
things I ask you to do, they're not that difficult. Easy for some.
Well, let's
For instance, the second task. Simply find my book that went missing. I feel that it is somewhere here in Downfall. It is my favorite book. Should you see it, you cannot miss it. It is big, and it is black, and it has the title, Big Book of Bad Blood.
Why would you not have your helpers find it for you? If they were able to steal dreams from people, they could surely find your book in the town in which you live.
Well, they can't read. You can't read, can you? She looks at the little one next to it, and it just shakes its head sadly. But you're a great thief, And it nods its head quickly.
All right. You know, how hard could a book be to find? A big one.
Big book, yes. There aren't many in Downfall. The bullywugs, most of them are fools and illiterate.
But if we can't find it, Tana, then we're stuck.
We'll find a way.
You'll have to look very hard.
Well, do you remember the Witchlight Carnival? We played by the rules, didn't we? Most of us. And I just look at Sam. Until, just let's play by the rules.
Well,
until, then unless we need to do something else.
What are the other two?
The third task. The magic task. Find me a package. There's a bullywug that has gone missing in the swamps. His name is Ugfunk Stinkbottom. He has a package for me, a collector's item, something to add to my menagerie of stuffed curiosities.
We will collect your mail for you.
Thank you. I have been telling my sisters that we need a mailman, but they won't listen. None of them wish to pitch in for one, you see.
What was that name again?
Ugfunk Stinkbottom.
Ugfunk Stink. Colorful.
Forgive the possible rudeness of this question. If things of yours have gone missing as well, and your sisters are notorious for taking things as well, have you checked with them?
You have a keen mind.
I do.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
I would just go check with my sisters, of course, yes. But they like to hold on to things that they find. Things that don't belong to them. This brings us to our fourth task.
Is this
I want you
one?
to go... the big one, yes. For the brave or the clever. My sister Skabatha, she lives in hither, in a fallen tree called a loom lurch. There is a painting there, in the heart of the tree. You can't miss it. It's in the middle of a large round room. It is the portrait chamber. There are pictures of her and myself and my other sisters there. I want Skabatha's portrait brought to me. You see, I commissioned it, and it belongs to me, and she loves it, but it does not truly belong to her. And if I collect it back, then that gives me some leverage over her.
You think one of your sisters took your book to get leverage over you?
That is possible, but I sense that it is here somewhere. In Downfall, the waters have shown me in the hands of a bullywug.
Okay. So, unclog your drain, pick up your mail, find your book, and steal something from your sister. Am I getting all of that?
Recover, not steal. Don't steal from each other.
So, in the execution of these duties, we would not be seen to be stealing, but doing a favor of, recovery is, I guess, your word, which means by the laws of this land, we would not be held responsible for any wrongdoing.
No, I would not hold you responsible.
Well, we're not worried about you. We're worried about Skibasa.
And based
She
on
is
the law
another
of
story.
ownership.
In her land, she thinks everything belongs to her.
Super.
Super.
Well, you know what? Years and years of housework have trained me, at least for the first one.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Then you're ready to get to work.
So we have a deal. We do these 4 things, and we get the 2 things.
Yes. Yes, you do.
All right. Well,
And you have 8 days to complete them.
How
Sure.
far away is this loom lurch tree?
Not that far. If you can find a guide, I would lend you a balloon to go there, and a pilot of the bullywugs. I believe there's a guide somewhere in Downfall. Clap on a happy claw, or clappy face, something like
Clapper Claw.
that's it.
Yeah, we know the guy.
Yes, he belonged to Granny Nightshade at one point. No more, though. Pulled himself free of his stake one day and walked off into the forests. Found his way here and has stayed ever since.
So what happens in 8 days?
Not much nice things.
Oh?
I'll get you creative.
Oh, dear.
You'll get creative.
Yes. What do you think? Boils? Stenches? Perhaps a little polymorphing.
I meant it seems that you need some items of power within the next 8 days, and we're running errands for you to get them. And I'm curious if something important is happening in the next 8 days that you need these things for, so that we may be more expedient in getting them to you.
This is just the fire beneath you, moving you along.
Oh.
I'm guessing she needs to motivate people here.
Oh, yes. Never know when someone's going to get lazy. Sit in a boat all day long.
Or they're home.
I have very little patience.
Obviously.
And I don't like leaving deals open-ended. That's when people wander off, find other things to do, forget all about the things that I am owed.
Well, we won't forget unless you steal our memories again.
I will not.
Better not.
Do we have a deal then?
As long as what you just said becomes part of the deal, that you will not steal our memories henceforth.
No, I will not.
Or dreams. Or hot and cold. Or items.
Or anything.
Or youth.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ugh.
I don't steal from anyone in my realm.
Oh, that's right. This was because we were baddies at the carnival, but we weren't. But whatever.
Oh, curious, you haven't introduced us to your friend.
Oh, you mean Charm here. She is not a friend. Are you a friend, Charm? And the woman who's just been kind of sitting there, sipping slowly at her tea and watching this, gives sort of a tight little smile and says, "We are business acquaintances. I am here recently from Yorn to trade. I am a merchant of sorts, and I always make sure to make appearances here before Bavlorna, before I leave again."
Pay your respects kind of thing.
Yes. Pass along information to her sister and vice versa.
Right.
You have a sister, perhaps.
Do I?
Yes.
I have family and sisters, yes.
You have a sister by the name of Glean, perhaps.
She tilts her head curiously when you say that name. Just no, I do not. But I do know the name.
Is that your
Why?
shadow?
What do you mean? She kind of shifts uncomfortably in her chair.
Well, where's your shadow? Because she's not here.
You see Bavlorna's eyes kind of dart over to Charm and begin kind of looking around the floor and like scanning her. Like
I saw your
she
shadow
missed
leave
this.
the window.
She kind of, again, sits back more in her chair, and Bavlorna says, "Where is your shadow? Where did it go, Charm? What are they talking about? And Charm says, you know your sister. You know what Endlin does. She snips shadows away. I cannot control mine. And she kind of sits back and tries to calm herself. And Bavlorna kind of looks like she's realizing something. And she says, I think that our business is done. All of you are out. Out now.
Right, so do you have a plunger or,
nice
one of those? No? All right.
Her finger kind of raises slowly and just points towards the door. And Charm stands, puts the tea down, and kind of bows to Bavlorna and begins making her way towards the door. As she's passing your group, you see her kind of like give a bit of a harsh stare at your group as if blaming you for something going wrong.
I give her one of these.
All right, let's go.
Thank you so much for your time and the opportunities you've presented to us, Lady Bavlorna.
Yes, yes. She seems to be kind of just thinking to herself, like petting one of the Lornlings next to her, and she kind of moves her head down and begins whispering something into its ear. Go, go, she says, if you're loitering.
Bow on the way out, but otherwise do not delay.
Okay. As you leave through the door, she waves her hand and it closes behind you.
No.
Charm, the woman that was there, is already gone down the stairs.
I will follow her.
Okay.
All right.
Are you trying to catch up to her?
Yes.
All right. You find her heading towards the trapdoor in the first level, that leads to the stairs, that leads down to the stilts, and eventually to the pier at the bottom of the cottage.
Charm, please, just a moment.
She stops, turns back your direction.
I didn't mean to cause any strife between you and her.
Did you now?
I did not, no. A shadow stole something of mine, and I was told it was Glean's shadow. So as soon as I saw you and a shadow leave this building, I assumed you were one and the same.
I am not. My story that I told you is true. Endlin Moongrave, she deals in plays and theater, shadow puppets, and shadows.
Can I get an insight check on that?
Sure.
That did like the natural 20 click over to an 8. But it's plus 5, so it's a 13.
13.
Yeah.
She's a bit hard to read, and she seems guarded right now. You don't think that she's lying, but she does tell you, I know who Gleam is. That shadow, the one that you spoke of, that is Gleam's shadow. And Gleam herself resides somewhere in Yon. Her sister is a prisoner in Endelin's keep, a place called Motherhorn.
Said Motherhorn?
Yes.
Okay.
She looks back towards the stairs as like the rest of the group is kind of arriving, and she says, this is not the place for these sort of discussions. If you wish to know more, come to me at my balloon. You'll find it beyond the palace, or what they call a palace here. And she gestures off in a direction.
Thank you. And again, my apologies if I've unintentionally caused any ill will.
Make a persuasion check.
Natural 19 plus 5.
All right, so she was sort of shooting daggers at you like this whole time, but you get the feeling that that she takes your apology to heart. It's not that she warms at all, but she seems to kind of nod, at least in understanding that you didn't intentionally like try to screw her over. But she, like I said, she's a little bit hard to read, so you don't know what that means. But her attitude does change a little bit, and she nods to you with respect before stepping down through the hatch, the trapdoor that leads to the stairs that exits the cottage. She says, "Good luck with your dealings with Bavlorna. You'll need it."
Thank you. And safe travels wherever the swamp takes you.
Oh, I have a feeling that we will meet again. And like I said, if you wish to know more, come to my balloon.
Thank you.
She nods and departs. You now find yourselves standing in the lower level of Bavlorna's cottage. This pool that she's talked about is right behind you. In the center of it, there's this well. And there's like a trickle of water coming out of the well. Seems as if there should be a lot more to fill up the pool around it. Right now it's like a foot deep, but the room seems to be built in such a way that it could be 4 or 5 feet deep.
Out of curiosity, so we went up to level 3 last session.
You did?
Has any of that taken effect yet?
Everything except for like added spells. You don't necessarily need to like jump into things right now. You kind of have been running around. You do have a little bit of a time crunch as well, as far as Bavlorna and her, what her deal means.
What time of day is it now?
It is, it's always twilight here. So like you look out a window and it seems the same. Kind of just miserably kind of
journey
dim out there.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it's kind of miserable and dim outside.
So I know we took a long rest at the guy's house that we saved. We saved his house. We took a long rest there.
Yeah.
How long did it take us to get from that gentleman's place to where we're at now?
Not long at all. I mean, it's just across it's in the middle of this lake. So.
Okay. So it's probably only been a few hours since we've been awake.
But I think you did a couple other things. Let's go back. Let me go back real quick and look at the other map. That gives me sort of a hint as to like, yeah, you kind of came straight here.
After we put the fires out.
No, you rested and you talked to Clapperclaw, I think, that in the morning, I think.
I'm only curious because I'm like missing health points.
You should have health points back after a long rest. Did you take where did you take damage after the long rest?
That's what I was wondering, because I knew I took damage from the fire in the guy's house.
That should be back.
I
You should be at full hit points for third level.
Yeah, he let us stay with him, I think, to rest.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what you had done.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have the hit points of third level. That happens immediately. Skills, other abilities. The only thing is that you wouldn't have is spells, like new spells ready.
Okay.
So, what say we go down to our new friend's house, the balloon maker, and see if it has any tools that we can use to, unclog this thing.
Well, I got my crocheting needle. Like how you go down in a drain, you pull all the hair out. You try that.
I think we're going to need a much bigger needle.
Well, let's take a look at it first, and then if we need tools, we'll go get them.
Would create a whole bunch of water and try to force the clog out.
Options.
Yeah,
Let's go look.
We should look at it first.
I hop
All
into
right.
the pool.
Like I said, the pool's only about a foot deep. The water's kind of nasty, but it's not as bad as it could be because there's no muddy bottom like there is in like the swamp. The water's just a little like stinky. And there's stairs on the side that walk right down into it, so you don't have to like kind of plunge in, or whatnot to splash all over the place. But you do wade over to this well that's sort of the center of this pool. Give me a whoever's got nature, roll a nature check. You can roll it actually even if you're untrained.
Is this the same room with the mannequin and the lily pad and the mirror in the pool?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only one room with a pool, and that's the first level. The well's in the center. The mirror is off to one corner, and the other corner has that giant lily pad. It's like 10 feet around.
I'd like to check out the giant lily pad.
When you head over to the lily pad, it's floating on the surface. You look under it, and you see that there's like these sort of tendrils that kind of come out from it that are spread out sort of below it and a little bit onto the floor. You notice every once in a while that the tendrils move. For instance, when you come over to the corner, just the motion of some of you stepping into the pool have disturbed the water. The lily pad in like a normal pond, like these tendrils would probably go down to the ground and keep it from moving around a lot. They have no place to attach here. And just the waves would kind of bump it around a little bit, but then you see the tendrils kind of move and push it back into the corner.
I got a 16 on my nature check.
All right. Sam, over at the well, there is, when you go over and kind of look over into it, you end up sort of leaning on it to get like a better look. And there's something that makes your skin tingle a little bit when you touch the water that's coming out of the well. It seems kind of uncomfortable, actually, almost not quite like burning, but almost like that, like you've put like a mild acid on your hands. Not enough to damage you, but enough to make you a little uncomfortable.
Well, I'm going to stop doing that pretty quick.
You didn't see anything down in the well. You saw some debris, a little bit of debris floating about 15 feet or so down, but it's kind of dark in there. You have dark vision? I can't remember.
I think I do. Yes, I do.
You can see that there is some debris that's down in the well itself. It's not enough to clog it, though. It seems like some of it's just kind of floating about 15 feet or so down in the well. You see like an old helmet and a few dishes, and they're just sort of suspended down in the water. A little bit odd. Things like that shouldn't be floating in water. They should be sinking or at least moving around.
Yeah, that is weird. Do you have any rope?
Do you?
I don't.
Does anybody else have rope?
I've got rope.
I think Tana's got like one of every pack in her pack.
I've got an amalgamation of stuff. I don't have some of the things that you would hope for, but I have a lot.
Hannah started with the pack of many packs.
Yes. She collected one of every pack from like it just got rid of the redundant stuff and just shoved it all into one. So you do have a rope.
Yes.
What do you say? I'll tie one of my daggers to the end of the rope and sort of lower it down in a fishing sort of manner.
Okay.
That could
What
work.
do you attach to the end of it?
Just a dagger.
Okay.
You don't put any bait at the end?
Not yet. This
Okay.
is exploratory.
Are you volunteering? Is Tana volunteering?
No. I got some pickled string beans. I could put one at the end or
What if I make it glow? Would that help?
Maybe, yeah. Give it a shot.
and we could see.
Yeah.
All right. The
tap it
dagger begins
and-
to glow. You attach it to the rope. You begin dropping it down into the well. It gets down about 10 feet or so, and then you see the dagger, like it's going through normal water, like easily drop down, and then suddenly it goes, kind of slows to a stop. And then you see the rope that it's attached to fray out and just dissolve. And then the dagger's floating there freely. And the rope at the end is just gone. You pull it back up, and it just seems to be like sizzling a little bit, as if it's been burned away by acid.
Sorry, Tana.
Oh, that's all right, I guess. We didn't lower the whole thing down, which is good.
Sorry, Tana.
You better tie that off so it doesn't unravel.
I'll get to it.
I was about to swim down there. Maybe I won't.
Absolutely not, Thorn. I will not let you swim down there.
Can we see anything with it glowing?
The dagger's still glowing down there. You noticed anything on it that, like, if there's like a leather wrapped hilt, the leather has dissolved, and it's just like the metal of the dagger. And it's Thorn, you've worked with like acid etchings before, and you see like the metal of this thing sort of discoloring as if it's been exposed to an acid. Nothing harsh enough to dissolve the metal, and you can see like there's a couple other metal things down there, as well as like these ceramic plates, and ceramics don't typically dissolve in acids either. At least not mild ones. The rope went pretty quickly.
It's definitely some acid. You can see the etch marks appearing on the blade of the dagger.
Well, how are you supposed to clear acid out?
I don't know, but I got an idea for how to get some of that stuff out if we want it.
Want it
What is
for
it?
what?
I don't know. I don't know if it would help, but do you want your dagger back?
Well, yeah.
All right. You're going to like this.
Am I?
I open up my pack and I get out. I don't know if this is going to work, but I get out the hand of the animated armor.
Uh-huh.
And I want to drop the hand down and try to stick my own hand down and try to time it so that when it's falling, I close my hand and try to get it to mirror reverse close on the dagger.
How do you get the hand, like the gauntlet, out of this thing though? Because is the gauntlet attached to something else? Because it doesn't. The armor animates, but it requires it to have structure. It doesn't float.
It's not just going to come back to me if I move closer to it. Oh, I was so close.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. You drop it down there, you time it perfectly, grab the dagger in the gauntlet, you're like, see? And we're like, that's great, Thorn. How do we get the gauntlet back?
Yes, exactly that.
I was all about this magical claw game. So we got to how do we get the glove back?
I got the dagger.
So let's say that you're all standing there around the well, looking down. Thorn is triumphant with this, his hand like this. You have to put it kind of down in the water because you have to be the closest person for it to mimic, and it mimics your hand, and you're like,
I got the dagger, Sam.
And then it's just holding it, and you see like the gauntlet and the dagger like slowly kind of swirling a little bit in the down the well.
Okay, like I think it's gonna work. I start lowering my hand, expecting the gauntlet to come up toward me.
It does not. It turns like your hand does, and like the blade shifts. And when you're doing this, you notice, all of you, that the water in the well has begun to sort of flow out over the edges. And Thorn, you're looking at this, and you're kind of trying to manipulate this dagger with the gauntlet and trying to get it to come back up. And it begins to rise in the well.
It's working.
Wait. Just pause. Do we have a mechanic? Like, can we as players give other players inspiration? because
Sure. I think we should. We should definitely have that mechanic.
that Thorn, please have my inspiration for that brilliant, stupid move.
So for everyone out there, what Chad is talking about is in some of our other games, we the way that we assign inspiration is the GM can assign it if something great happens, but we've given other players the ability to, like, once per game, assign inspiration to somebody. I think it's once per game, to assign it to another character. That way you can get applause from different areas, from different people. And that's what we're doing right now. And I think we're definitely have to adopt that as official, homebrew rule number. And this is probably going to be the first, right? I don't know if we have any others at the moment.
This game, I think so.
Well, other than starting with a feat.
Oh, yeah.
Other than start, so this is homebrew rule number 2. One was starting with feet at first
So we
level.
did start with the feet. Okay.
We did.
Do you have to go back in and change something?
Oh, no, I got it. That's fine.
1
In
second.
fact, it makes sense that it's only now going to start coming into effect. So that's fine.
Cool.
Okay. Well, that's a good question, though. Did Tana and Thorn, did they start with the feet? Like, I thought we had discussed this.
We
Yes,
did,
I started with the feet. I have dual wield, but I never brought out my swords until like episode 8 or 10 or something. So it's like,
And I
True.
have
Till like
Tavern
level
Brawler.
2.
I have Tavern Brawler, which I think still has not come up.
You haven't been to a tavern. Well, you have. You went to one tavern. That's true. All right.
I'm
So
not allowed in a
inspiration
tavern.
has been
I'm a
assigned.
20.
You're raising your hand. Thorn, you're raising your hand, and this gauntlet is rising. The
No,
dagger.
lowering my hand because
You're
I
lowering
need to
your
mirror it, right?
Okay. Well. Okay. So you're lowering your hand, and the gauntlet is rising to meet you. What does everybody else do?
It's working.
I step
I-
back.
Everybody
I
else
cheer
roll perception
Thorn
real
on.
quick.
okay.
Perception?
Did you
Yeah.
say everybody
Okay.
or everybody else?
Everybody else, I think. Actually, Thorn, you can roll it too, but roll with
No, no.
disadvantage because I think you're so focused on
I'll
this.
pass. I'm in the zone. I'm riding this wave.
Everybody's
Literally.
Literally.
I got a 16.
16, 23, and
19.
19. All of you realize that something wrong with this. And the thing that is wrong is that it's not just the gauntlet and the dagger that are rising out of the well. Everything else that was suspended around the dagger and the gauntlet in this area that's about 15 feet or so down is coming up as well. Plates, cups, this helm, other debris. And it's coming up a little bit quicker than Thorn is pretending to push down.
I'm going to grab Thorn by the collar and pull him out of the water.
Good luck.
Like, even if it takes both
I'm
hands,
like
I'm going to pull his
340
arm.
pounds.
All right, everybody.
I'm pretty strong. I'm pretty strong.
Everybody, roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Ah,
Oh no, my other cleric is the strong one. Oh no.
Oh man. You guys, I got a 4 initiative.
Of course you did.
well, I
Oh,
got a
boy.
critical failure in initiative, so I don't know what's up with me.
Oh no.
But I did want
First,
to
not
mention.
one of the night.
Wow. So because we're doing the give each other inspiration point, Callie, I wanted to give you inspiration for the face you made when What's Her Bucket asked you to come closer. Oh my god, I died.
That was a good face. You're just like,
Why, thank you, but I already had inspiration from last game, so I can only hold the one.
Chad,
now you
I
just need to
actually
remind
also
everybody to use it.
already had inspiration from the last game.
I could re-roll. I could use my inspiration to re-roll this nat 1.
You could. Do you want to use
Yeah, why not?
it?
Well, especially if you're getting another right now.
Woo!
Well-
Yeah, that's true. Then I could use yours.
Does that work?
Sure, we'll let it pass for this time, but next time.
Thank you.
All right, let me
that's an
let
11.
me roll.
But next time, that's not going
All
to
right.
fly, Ashton.
Tano's 11.
All right.
Yeah.
Sam is what?
10.
Sophia.
8.
And Thorn.
4 big ones.
4 big ones. All right. Even being 4 big ones, you're still faster than whatever it is that's coming up out of this well. But the first person to go is Tana.
All right, what am I seeing?
You're seeing Sylphira trying to pull Thorn away from the well and probably not doing a very good job of that. She seems very worried. It's just probably like, and Thorn's like, no, it's working. It's working or whatever. It is almost in your hand. Like you're just reaching down and the gauntlet is coming up.
He's reaching into the acid.
He has to. That's the only way that the thing is going to come closer to him, right?
No, Thorn.
The closer I go to it, the closer it comes to me. This just makes sense.
Tana, you're just tall enough to like peer over the top of this well, and you see this other stuff coming up as well. You know something's wrong here. This is not normal.
Is it close enough where I could like take one of my swords and just kind of try to scoop it out so Thorn doesn't touch it?
Yeah, but you have to wait till it gets a little bit higher.
Okay, then I'll ready my action for that.
All right, ready to scoop. Sam.
I would also like to ready an action to like stab or swipe or slice at something should this like prove to be mobile.
Okay, you're ready to stab. Tana's ready to scoop. After you, it is Sylphira.
So you said we don't, with the level up, we don't have access to, say, higher level spells, but maybe the slots for higher level spells?
Yeah, I'll say that. That's fine.
Okay. In an absolute panic, seeing what's happening, Sylphira is just going to kind of scream, and her eyes are going to glow bright. And I'm casting second level Create or Destroy Water to destroy the first 20 gallons of water in the surface of the well. How big is this well?
It's about, this one's not that big. It's only about 5 feet or so diameter, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
when you
kinda
cast that, all the water in the top of the well just vanishes into mist and disperses into the room. And there's still something in the well. And this thing begins to rise up in front of Thorn. And it seems to be carrying the gauntlet and the dagger sort of in a way. And it's this weird gelatinous pseudopod that looks like water, but is somewhat solid. Thorn, you're up. This thing is rising up in front of you now, sort of like a living snake of water.
So my held action was to attack it if it started doing exactly that.
Okay, you can attack it.
Oh, good. Real good.
That's either really good, you rolled good, or really good, sarcastic, I just fumbled.
How about an 11?
11 hits.
Oh,
You stab at this thing right through the middle of this pseudopod, and some goo comes flying off of it. Give me your damage.
Oh, also great. 5.
5?
I feel like this is kind of like the Abyss situation where like the thing comes up out of the water and just, chopping bits of it off, but it's still...
It really is just like the Abyss, except it doesn't have a face. It has a gauntlet and a dagger. When you stab it, that sort of falls off and slops into the goop. Tana, if you want to try to grab the gauntlet and the dagger, you can.
I'm going to try to basically slash them out so that Thorn stops reaching into the acid.
I almost got it, you guys.
Give me an athletics check.
All right, cool. And since there's a readied action, I get advantage, right?
No, just regular.
Just regular.
Yeah, ready doesn't give you advantage.
Just gives you the thing. Okay, good. Cool. 11.
It's not that hard to grab. Like you scoop it out with your sword. You kind of stick it down into the gauntlet and kind of flick it out. It's not moving. It doesn't dodge or anything like that. So you have pulled it out. It's stuck on the end of your sword right now. Thorn, you're the last to go. Tana has just collected the gauntlet for you. And you see, again, there's this pseudopod kind of rising up from the well in the middle of your group.
Okay. I I think first he just stands there agog, like jaw dropping, but then sort of shakes himself to recover. Can I pull out shield and sword in one turn, or do I have to choose?
I think you can do both. You can manipulate to grab one and like move to grab the other.
All right. And then, to the best of my ability, try to interpose myself between it and my teammates to protect my teammates. And,
all right, so you just sort of slide over to the side, kind of nudging everybody back.
Yeah, into a protective posture.
All right, anything else?
Can I also make an attack, or am I done?
You can.
All right.
You basically just did like a move and a manipulate, so.
I'll do a chop.
Go for
it. Ooh, that's a 9.
A 9 hits. This thing, it does, like I said, it doesn't seem to like dodge or have any interest in dodging. You just stab right into it. What sort of weapon are you using?
This is a longsword. I do have a sword. I just don't always use it, but I have it for emergencies. That's an 11 damage.
All right, 11 damage. You slash into this, another piece of it falls off back into the goop, but then it just keeps rising, from the well. And as it does, it forms a large enough piece that it just surges forward suddenly at Thorn. And it attempts to hit you. Ooh, that's not going to be good. That's a crit.
Uh-oh.
Thorn, this thing surges into you and just almost engulfs you entirely, right into your face and your chest, and you feel it burning. And this is not like burning like heat. This is burning as your skin is being dissolved away.
Actually, he doesn't feel that.
That's not heat and cold. This is something else. This is pain. You can still feel pain.
That's true.
Yeah. Wow.
Ooh, 21 points of damage.
Oh my gosh.
That was from a crit. This thing really sort of rocked you.
I'm going to Stone's Endurance on that. I saved 1.
All right. That was the thing's action. It is now sort of halfway out of the well, like this large pseudopod. It just sort of gooped onto Thorn. And now we go back to Tana.
All right. I am going to attack. Actually, I'm going to go into a rage.
All right.
And so the magical effects of things haven't happened yet. So I'm just going to leave that for now. But I am going to go into a rage as I see it attack my brother.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to attack it with my short sword. 16 plus 5. So that's a 21.
That is a hit.
And that is 8 damage. And then I'm going to take my other sword and swing at it as well.
All right.
Oh, that one's not as good. That's a 10.
Still a hit.
And then, oh, yeah, that's better. 11 damage.
Ooh, that's lots of damage. Bits and pieces of it still sort of like carving chunks of it away, but it still keeps rising up out of the well. Sam is up.
Ugh, you big booger.
What about cantrips?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So once
you don't
again,
need to like memorize.
Right, got it. So once again, I will swipe and I will sound out my greatest tannic yawp, and I'm casting Booming Blade on it.
All right.
So that's going to be a 15 to hit.
That is a hit.
For 11 damage.
All right.
And then if it moves, it's going to take more damage.
Do you have sneak attack and are you adding it?
Oh, I do have sneak attack.
Don't forget.
I forgot.
This might be like the first time you've had a chance to use it.
It really is. So add another 10 points of damage to that.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I will
still
dance away.
Meaning disengage?
Yeah.
All right. Sophia.
I am going to snap my fingers, and it needs to make a dex save. DC 13.
What is this? What is this versus?
I'm sorry?
I'm not even sure if it can make it.
DC?
DC 13?
Yeah.
It actually made it. This is more like a dumb luck thing. What was the spell?
Sacred
I
Flame.
rolled a 13. There must be just enough water or Thorn is in the way, and it somehow misses.
Yeah. And then as my bonus action, I will hit Thorn with a healing word.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Pow! Ooh, max hell of healing. Nice. Thanks,
Yeah.
D-Force. Take 7 hit points back.
Yeah.
All right. Thorn is up.
All right. Is there any danger of it shifting its focus to anyone else, or do I clearly have its full attention?
You don't know. This thing is oozing up out of the well at an alarming rate. You don't know if it's larger than what you're seeing.
Well, I definitely still want to try to maintain a posture of interposing myself between it and others. And I'm going to action surge to do 2 actions. One is attack, and the other is dodge to be on the defensive.
Okay.
So with my attack, that's my own critical. That's
Nice.
Let's see. 3 and 8 is 11 plus 4, 15 damage.
All righty. And then you step into a defensive posture. This thing, as you step back,
I'm
like
also not
preparing to...
totally done.
Oh, you're not totally done. What else do you got?
I'm not. Bonus action, second wind.
Ah.
I learned that I need to interrupt you if I'm not done, because I didn't do that last turn and didn't get to pull this trick last time. So, bonus action, second wind.
Okay.
To gain a little bit of health back.
All righty. After you go, it surges completely up out of the well, and it is larger than this well. It apparently was pretty down in this thing and taking up maybe like another 20 feet or so below it. Once it fully comes out, it ends up sort of surging out over Thorn and Tana, the two that are right next to it with weapons. It doesn't actually attack. It uses an ability called Engulf to basically move its speed and enter your spaces. Both of you need to make dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
So technically it moved more than 5 feet, yeah? Or 5 feet, at least 5 feet?
Yes.
It did?
It moved 5 feet.
So it's going to take a thunderous crack of 7 thunder damage.
All right.
Thunder.
10.
10. Not so great. Thorn?
Does my dodge defensive attempt matter at all? Or does it pretty much ignore that?
I don't think dodge goes into dexterity saves. Look to see if it does.
Don't worry about it. I rolled fairly well, so that's 17.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't even need it. You move out of the way. Unfortunately, Tana does not. And this thing just oozes out all over her. It moves into your space, Tana, and you take... 10 points of damage from acid. You are engulfed. You can't breathe. You are restrained. Let me see real quick. On your turn, you can attempt to escape by making strength checks.
Okay.
Or someone else can try to pull you out as well using the same thing. Then 10 is up.
All right. Let's do a strength test, shall we?
All right.
You're raging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
I'm
raging,
raging.
then you should be able to roll with advantage.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder. All right. So that is a dirty 20.
All right, you managed to pull yourself out of this. You grab the well and just like drag yourself from this goo before it can dissolve you further. But that's all that you can do unless you have some bonus actions or extra stuff I'm unaware of.
Nope, I'm just gonna get the goop off of me and just say, this gosh darn snot bucket, I'm gonna show you who's boss.
All right, Sam is up.
Okay. I'm going to rinse and repeat that last set of actions. But that's actually only going to be a 10 to hit.
The 10 still hits.
Excellent.
This thing is incredibly easy to hit.
Even my 9 hit it.
There's a lot of ones. 7 points of slashing damage. And booming blade once again. As I will dance in, ha-ha, and then dance back again.
Cool.
All right. As you hit it and jump back, it quivers, and this booming blade on it doesn't actually activate because it doesn't really move. But you hear sort of like a and it just sort of oozes down and dissolves into the water in the pool around you, seeming to become inanimate.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
The thread seems to be gone.
Tingly. That was new.
Oh, you okay, Tana?
Oh yeah, it's just it's like a sunburn. It's fine.
Here, let me help a little with that. I come over and hum and cast Healing Word to heal a little bit of that.
That's a mighty fine trick you learned. Thank you.
Yeah, I dropped my die. That is going to be 4 hit points.
All right, thank you.
All right. As you are tending to these acid burns and looking around the room, it seems as if this might have been the thing that needed to be done. You look over towards the well, and the water is now flowing out of this freely. That thing inside seems to have been the plug that was preventing that from happening. The water around you is starting to rise in the pool, and this awful stench comes with it. And from somewhere upstairs, you hear, smells wonderful.
And I'm going to yell up, that's one!
All right. And on that note, let's take a little 5-minute break, and we'll come back and see what you guys decide to do next.
And now a word from our sponsor. Hey, do you like wheels? Well, have I got the store for you. It's Weird Willie's Wild World of Wheels. We got all kinds of wheels. Big wheels, small wheels, short wheels, tall wheels, wagon wheels, chariot wheels, steering wheels, grinding wheels, pottery wheels, water wheels, color wheels, rude wheels, mandala wheels, pin wheels, hamster wheels. We got so many kinds of wheels, you'll do cartwheels. We got deals on wheels, meals on wheels. Ever heard of traders on a pig? Squeals on wheels. How about a kid's toy shaped like an aquatic animal? Eels on wheels. Somebody stop me. Or perhaps you're into torture and or BDSM. Try our Wheel of Pain. Or are you into bread from France? Try our Wheel of Pain. That joke is better when you read it. Need a specialized wheel? Try our new Roll Your Own Customization Center. Use special code They See Me Rolling at checkout for a free wheel of cheese with your purchase. Limit 1 per customer. Check out our special events calendar. This month we have book signings by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. Next month, Pat Sajak. Don't play roulette with other wheel stores. Stop on by Weird Willie's Wide World of Wheels today. This message is sponsored by Vecnacorp. Vecnacorp, always ready to lend a hand.
At Weird Willie's Wide World of Wheels, we'll see you around.
Always ready to lend a hand. Oh, sir.
Oh my!
It's really disturbing that Weird Willie's is sponsored by like Vecnacorp. Like that's just there's something really weird going on here.
Yeah.
There's subplots in our sponsors.
There is.
There's something developing here.
All right. See you guys in a bit.
Oh my
5
god.
minutes, people.
Bravo.
Thank you very much.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Thank you, Chad. Yeah. See you all
We'll
in
be
5.
right back.
Oh,
Exactly. Disadvantage.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We are here back with the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. The heroes have just heroically unclogged a toilet and have they have completed the first of 4 quests for Bavlorna Blightstraw, the Hag of Hither. You find yourselves now in this room, the water filling back up. I'm assuming that some of you, especially Tana, exit the pool before the water gets over their head. Thorn, it's not going to get much more above your waist.
I will
what do you
pick
do
up
now?
Tana if needed.
Yeah, it's not filling up that fast that's required. But you exit the pool without any other issues. You see that mirror that's over in the corner seems to be on some sort of like floating device as it kind of rises up with the water so that it doesn't get submerged. The lily pad, of course, also just floats as a normal lily pad would. Eventually, the water comes up to almost near the top of the well. It's about 4 or 5 feet deep or so.
I think we should tell Bavlorna now so that she may enjoy a bath while we are running the rest of her errands.
I think she's figured
You
it
already
out.
smelled it.
Yeah, I think she's aware.
Well, unless we have anything else here to do, I would very much prefer to leave.
This place is creepy.
Yeah.
I eye the mannequins in the corner. Yes.
They're eyeing you back, or at least it feels like that.
Hello. I wave to the mannequins.
No, Thorn, don't wave at the haunted mannequins, please.
None of them wave back, but it's they're just these creepy mannequins in the corner.
But if one had waved, we could make a new friend.
We already made friend with some armor, enough inanimate object buddies, you know?
Well, we have a book to find, don't we?
Yes, the Book of Bad Blood.
I also wouldn't mind some lunch.
I'm suddenly not very hungry, actually.
I was going to say,
Fresh
really?
water and a rest would be great.
Well, I got some rations.
How clean is this water now?
Not very clean. This is swamp water.
All right. So using this to bathe to clean myself off would not be effective.
No, you would need to bathe again afterwards.
Well, let's get on out then.
All right, you make your way out of Bavlorna's cottage. You descend along the stairs that go around the stilts down to the bottom where your snail awaits. There was a boat down here before. It's gone now. That must have been Charm's boat. That must have been the way that she got here. Where do you head first now that you are leaving the cottage? It sounds like you were looking after maybe hunting down this book. Bavlorna seems to think that it's somewhere in the town, in Downfall itself. Where do you want to start?
Maybe we could ask Duke Ikrine. He gave us lodging for the night. Maybe he's heard of the book.
That's a good lead. That'd be a safe place to start.
Or Clapperclaw.
Clapperclaw's another good... Yeah.
Clapperclaw, I think, is on the snail at the moment, right?
I think
Did you bring Clapperclaw along? But Clapperclaw didn't want to go up to see Bavlorna just because he thinks that all the hags are sort of bad news.
There is also the other contact that Sir Talavar mentioned, and that is Morgoret is the name that's coming to me.
Friend of Talavar, yes.
Someone
the
that
note
had
that I
helped him
have here,
escape.
though, is possibly a risky contact is the note I have. So maybe not very reliable, or maybe a dangerous person. Probably a last resort.
The way that I think the reason you had labeled it as risky is that Talavar had escaped Downfall, not with not by making friends here. He had convinced a couple of the bullywugs to basically help him. So, when you say escape, there was a reason he was here, probably imprisoned. Bavlorna probably wanted him here for some reason, maybe as a hostage, maybe for something else.
So would the inference then be that Morgoret is one that helped Sir Talvar escape?
Yes, that is the inference. Morgoret helped Talavar, and he helped basically get them into the balloon with another bullywug that had piloted the balloon to get them free. But
who was the dead one that we found?
That was the dead one that you found with Talavar. And Talavar was very sad that his bullywug companion had died, but had mentioned that there was another one by the name of Morgoret back in Downfall that he suggested if you go there to look up, because that person was an ally of his.
Cool. Thank you.
The trouble was that because they're an ally of Talavar's, they might be in trouble with Bavlorna or the other bullywugs. You don't know until you find them.
Gotcha.
So returning to the balloon factory, talking to Duke Ickrind, I'm assuming?
Well, first we'll talk to Clapperclaw, because he's right there on the snail.
That's true. He's right there on the snail. As you come down and see him, he gives you a little wave with a claw. How did it go?
Well, we unclogged a bathtub for Bavlorna in order to do a few things for her, just a couple of chores. It tried to kill us, the thing clogging it. And now we're on to find something called the Big Book of Bad Blood. You ever heard of it?
No, I can't read. I don't read books.
It is a big black leather-bound book. Have you seen anyone with large books around?
Now that you mention it, big and black, I've only seen one book around Downfall, and the king had it. King Gollop. I saw him with a big black book.
The current king, not one of the beheaded ones, I'm guessing.
No, they don't have hands.
Yeah. Not anymore. Well, how do we get an audience with this king?
Well, you could just go there and ask, and maybe be nice to him, I guess. Normally, you have to have some sort of introduction. But he'll probably listen to you, especially with that fancy crown on his head.
He looks up at Thorn.
Oh, right. Do you think I should keep this on to meet him or take it off?
I don't know. He might consider you a threat. Maybe he'd want to add you to the other polls. Or maybe he'll just be nice.
Just say you're from
not
a visiting
bullywug.
kingdom. Yeah, you're not.
I'm not trying to take his throne. I'll just tell him that.
Well, he might not believe you. These bullywugs, they don't trust anybody, especially once they become the king. They know that everyone's out for them. Dagger is always behind them.
And what did you say his name was again?
King Gollop. King Gollop, I think.
Gollop.
16th? Or 18th or something? King Gollop a number.
All right. Well, let's go ask King Gollop. Maybe he'll give us the book.
He'll probably want some sort of favor or trade.
Let me see. Maybe I could give him something. What do they not have here?
The ability
other than a work ethic? Desire? Some semblance of
Plumbing?
Law and order?
Anything clean?
There are so many things.
There are many things that this place...
Yeah.
But what could we bring them?
I'm not sure. Well, let's go ask.
So there was one thing that Duke Ickrind had given you as well. When you had helped him out, he had given you a brooch of a fly that had like fluttering wings. He had told you that if you wanted to meet with the king, that if you mentioned his name and showed his brooch, that would get you in. It's been a little while since you dealt with that, but that was the implication that Duke Ickrind had made when he gave that to you. He said this will make you someone important. at least has the weight of his name behind it. He's kind of a VIP in town.
Yeah, we pinned it to Thorn, I believe, to double the impact of the crown.
But didn't we
Butterfly
each
crown
get
and a bridge of
No, it
flight.
was just one.
Okay.
All right, so you hop on your snail on lettuce B, and is it lettuce A or lettuce B? I can't remember now.
Let us be.
Let us
Let
see.
us be.
Lettuce B. Yeah, because lettuce A is the one that's back in the carnival. And you float across this lake, heading north at Clapper Claw's instructions, and you end up coming to the shore of this sort of strange circular. It's not really quite an island because it's connected to another part of Downfall, but it's almost like a peninsula in a way, and it's got these ruins on top of it that are a little bit sort of canted as if they're sinking into the swamp itself. As you pull up to the shore, you realize that among the ruins there are not a dozen or so bullywugs hanging out here. There are. In fact, I'll give you this. The ruins here look a little bit like a gazebo, but they're kind of falling apart, and they're a little bit like the slanty tower, and that the swamp is at some point just going to absorb this stuff into it over time. There are some short steps that lead up from one side of this little plot of land, and within these the ruins of the gazebo, there are a bunch of bullywugs, and you can hear music kind of coming forth from some bullywug musicians. It sounds like little horns kind of tooting in here. It's not exactly calming, but it's not hard on the ears either. It's just sort of like this weird sort of horn/flute-like music. You see that there's a dais, and on top of the dais, there's this flabby bullywug who is wearing a crown of woven lily flowers.
I'm sorry, just the way you were describing that, it's like the Royal Kazoo Band.
It is. It's like the Royal Kazoo Band. I mean, they're not like right there, but they're like, yeah, it's not great music to you. To Thorin, this kind of hurts your ears a little bit, but they seem to be enjoying it. Maybe they hear the world differently than everyone else. But like I was saying, up on this dais, there's another like large bullywug, and he's sitting on this throne. He's got a crown of flowers. His legs are kind of sitting on the throne, folded under him. And right off the bat, you notice that he has this large leather-bound book that's open in his lap, and he seems to be sort of mouthing words as if he's struggling to read the pages within it. As you approach, there's a couple of guards. It seems to be about 4 bullywugs here that are dressed in basically plate armor that's designed for them. It's sort of thin for their legs and very sort of roundish for their bodies because they're all kind of shaped like big frogs. But they're pretty heavily armed and armored and armed. They're carrying halberds. They look sort of like a joke, but armed like this and armored like this. Even a bad knight would be hard to deal with. It's just hard to get through all this sort of armor. They check you as you arrive, and one of them, kind of comes down to your group and says, "This is King Olaf's court. Are you here to see the king? Do you have an invitation? Are you expected?"
Well, not exactly expected. We are here to see the king, but we were, we are friends of the Duke, and he said that if we wished an audience, we need only display a small token, and we might be given a chance to have a little chat with His Majesty.
Are you showing this thing? He kind of looks around your group as if he's kind of looking for...
I point to it on my chest. It's here.
He kind of squints at it and says, "Oh, Luke-Grind symbol, I see. You didn't kill him for it, did you?"
Oh, no. Of course we didn't.
The thought.
We helped him put fires out in his house.
Oh, did you? Thought I smelled smoke yesterday.
Yeah, we saved the balloon factory.
Well, good for you. Yes, the balloon factory, very important. Duke Grind as well. Well, if you have done a favor for him and he has given you his boon, then yes, come, please. Come, approach the king. And as you are kind of led up to this meeting area, you see that there's these pillows kind of thrown about on the ground. They're like muddy and gross. And there's some bullywugs that are sitting on them, dressed in finery. The king himself is sitting on this throne. He doesn't even look up as you approach, but he kind of calls out, "Have you no herald to announce yourselves to King Gollop the 19th?
Apologies, Your Majesty. I be that herald. May I introduce to your most gracious and handsome Royal Highness Thorn, the Witchlight monarch."
With that, he glances up and sort of slams the book closed as if he's paying attention for the first time. Looks up and up at Thorn and says, "Oh, interesting. Another monarch. Been a long time since I've seen one from the Witchlight come here. Well, yes, come, take a seat." And he gestures to one of these moldy pillows nearby. "To what do I owe the honor of such a glorious visit?"
I step forward momentarily, totally at a loss for words, but recover myself after a second and say, "Yes, it's such a pleasure to be received at your magnificent court. A king of such glory as yourself. We actually seek a boon. We're just here a short while, not staying."
"Already asking favors of the king? Ha! Yes, I am important, and I can do great favors."
Tell me about that book you have.
"Oh, this? Yes, this. You see, I found this very recently. It came into my possession." He kind of looks around a little bit, and the rest of the bullywugs are kind of pretending not to listen in on this conversation. You see that there's the side eye, and this is a sort of moment that would probably become gossip around this place pretty soon. Everybody give me an insight check. And Thorn, give me a persuasion check just to see how you have presented yourself, how well you have conducted yourself as this peer.
For me, the insight is a 4. I am rather stressed at being the center of attention. Mm-hmm. The persuasion is an 18. He is putting all of his effort into doing his best.
All right. What other insight checks do we get from the group?
My insight was 18.
18. Anything else close to that? The 5
15.
For Sam. What was that for Sophia?
15.
15. For Sophia and Tana, both of you realize that there's some part of the story that he's not saying. This book in his hand in his lap is making him uncomfortable. And he quickly, once Thorn mentions the book, turns the subject to the book, and you see him kind of eagerly begin addressing Thorn and saying, yes, this book here, when I found it, well, I didn't realize what it was. It belongs to Bavlorna, you see. It is her book. I do not know how it ended up down here in Downfall, but it does not belong here at all. No, not at all. If you could do me a favor, perhaps then I could do you one. Would you return this book to her for me? Let her know that I found it, that I, King Gollop the 19th, found this and recovered it on her behalf.
Can I get an insight check on that?
Sure.
That seems sus.
That's too good to be
Thorn
true.
is not at all suspicious. he just blinks a couple times, and I'm like,
I got a 19 on that.
Ooh, I got an 11, so I see nothing, I'm guessing.
Sophia, you know that he didn't just find this. I mean, it's kind of obvious to you already. There's some sort of story with this book. He didn't just come across it somewhere, but he wants to get rid of it and get it back to Bavlorna quick. Like, this is a hot potato in his hands.
Understood. I think we can help you with this, and I will take off the burnt remains of my cloak.
Excellent cloak. Did you burn it yourself?
She
Yes.
had help.
Fashionably
Yes.
burnt.
Yes,
Crisp just along the edges.
just singed enough. Yes. Certainly wasn't handmade by my father and very meaningful to me at all, but yes. Please hand me the book. And I will kind of drape the cloak over my hands and hold them out like so.
He gives it to one of the guards that's with him, these armored guards, who kind of awkwardly grabs it in one hand and trying to, like, work this pole arm in the other. Kind of shuffles over to you and puts it into your hands in the cloak.
Thank you. I am going to set it on the ground and fold up the cloak around it, and then I'm going to pull out a short length of rope, and I'm going to tie the thing up.
Okay.
Like
as you were
kind of
tying it up, you did see that on the cover of this book, it does read The Big Book of Bad Blood.
So when we talk big book, are we like monster manual size?
No, it's bigger than that. So, like, a monster manual is what, like a foot by like 8 inches or something, right? This thing's about 1.5 feet by like a foot. It's a little bigger than that. A little bigger than that. You can see that it's pretty worn. It's got like this black leather covering. There is kind of slime on it. The pages within are brown. Like, you haven't opened it, but you can see that they're kind of. This has seen a lot of use. Very dog-eared.
Yep. And I'm going to look at the rest of my group and say, I don't think any one of us should open or look at this book.
but
Just
it's the right book, though, right?
it looks exactly like the right book.
The right book. What do you mean, the right book? That is Bavlorna's book. It's the only book, big book of bad blood.
He's hoping.
And
Yes, and I would not read it if I were you. No. Don't read it. Oh, she wouldn't like it if you read it.
Where'd you come by it?
I was out walking this morning, and I found it under a tree near the palace, as if someone had just left it there. Just under the tree.
That's a 19 on the insight check.
You don't think that's true?
Tree,
You can't see this guy. You can't see this guy just out for a brisk morning walk.
not really the type.
He's like so these bullywugs are all kind of big and flabby, and this guy is bigger and flabbier than most.
Fair enough.
Thorn's got a little bit of a puzzled look on his face, and he says, "Wasn't it open in your lap when we came in?"
His eyes open a little wider, and he says, I was just making sure it was what I thought it was, that's all. No, but I wasn't reading it. No, not at all.
You
I'm just
absolutely
confirming.
were reading it when we walked up. You were attempting to read it.
No, it wasn't. No, I just had it open. I was just looking at the title page, that's all.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Not a lot of people read here. You're just flipping through it. We understand. We got it. We're not going to tell Bavlorna. It's all good.
Okay, good. Yes, that's great. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Tell her that I definitely did not read that book.
And you can hear as you're having this conversation, he's getting a little frantic over it since you accused him of reading the book. He was. I mean, you came up and he had the thing open. And it wasn't to the title page, but a few of the other bullywugs kind of around have taken notice. And there's like a little bit of like tittering and croaking as they're speaking sort of their I think they have their own language that they speak in addition to Sylvan. Let me check real quick. Yeah, they speak bullywug, and I don't think anybody in this group does.
Well, I don't.
So there is some definite conversation going on here. The rumor mill is chugging away.
Thorn just takes him at face value. I'm just like, okay, well, we'll tell her you didn't read it.
Yep, and you were just keeping it safe until it could be returned to her hands.
Yes, I was going to do it myself just now, but now that you're here, you can do that for me.
We wouldn't want to disturb your rest. We'll do you this favor.
Oh, excellent, yes. Quickly, but before she realizes that it's gone. It would be a disaster if she began looking for it and thought that someone had stolen it.
Perish the
terrible.
thought. Obviously, nobody here would do anything like that of the kind.
And he's just kind of quiet at that and just kind of like smiling. But it's like a forced smile.
Well, this has been very fruitful. A pleasure to meet your most grandiose majesty. I give him a little bow.
And he gives like a little seated bow to you. He doesn't get up, even off his throne. And he says, "Of course, Your Highness. Yes. Pleasure to meet me it is. And welcome to Downfall. Should you need anything, Your Highness, just come to me at my court, and I will do other favors for you."
Oh, do you know anyone who can disenchant armor?
Disenchant Bavlorna, that is the only one I know. She's the only practitioner of magic in Downfall. With the exception of perhaps, well, if you left Downfall, maybe if you found Sue at the inn at the end of the road. She, I hear, uses magic.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You are welcome. You are very welcome.
I guess I'll turn and start leaving.
All right. Anything else from anybody else? Just as you are backing away from the court and making your exit, Sylphira, you feel a little tug at your belt, and you realize that one of the bullywugs has kind of like moved by you. And as they do, they kind of meet your eye for a moment and kind of bow. And they say, "Oh, pardon me. Oh, yes, good day to you, good day." And you see a moment later, you can kind of feel it first, that they've pressed a scrap of moist parchment into your hand.
I'm going to have pretty much one arm on the book, like that book bundle, like with me the whole time. And I just tell Sam, Tana, somebody peel this off of my hand, please, and read it.
You peel it away. And slowly like peel it open as you're making your way back towards to Let Us Be. And as you open this note, you see that there's a message here written in common. Seems like it is hastily written. And it reads as follows. "Find Illig, Baron of Muckstump, at once. The revolution lives."
All right, Illig, Baron Muckstump?
Baron of Muckstump.
Muckstump.
Baron of Muckstump.
Illig, Baron of Muckstump. The revolution lives.
The revolution lives.
Wheels! More wheels! Wheels of the revolution are turning.
The wheels of the revolution turn.
Wheels within wheels.
And with that, as you are mounting back up onto to Let Us Be with this note that gives you hints of perhaps strife and discord here in Downfall, we'll hold off here and pick up back in Downfall next week.
All right. Intrigue
and Downfall. A king that has found a book that doesn't belong to him, wishes to get rid of it quickly. Court that might not think too much of him, definitely someone in the court that is courting your favor or maybe your help in something to come.
Interesting.
Yeah, but like if the kings are overthrown and beheaded every few months, what gives us any reason to think the new one is any better than the current one?
Why do you think it's the king they're trying to overthrow?
Well, because they overthrow the kings every few months.
Well, I know. It could be Bavlorna.
Now, that
I
would
think
be
somebody puts the
interesting.
king in charge as a figurehead, and then they get offed every now and again to cycle through them because somebody starts to figure it out too soon. And I don't know.
Oh, that's deep.
Out of character thoughts.
Yeah.
Something very complex is happening here in Downfall. And the bullywugs are like, really?
Do you understand the geopolitical conundrums that you're living in?
No! But they're excited about it.
Oh man.
The opportunity to get involved in the politics of Downfall has been presented to you. And there is more of Downfall to see here, too. You've also been invited to meet with Charm. If you have interest in doing that, who knows how long she'll be around. You kind of outed her to Bavlorna. Bavlorna might be acting on what you said. Or not. Depends on if she is feeling like doing anything.
All right. Well, we've got a lot to think about.
Yeah.
You do. What to plan for next
What cloak
week?
am I going to buy?
What cloak are you going to buy?
Yeah, what color cloak am I going to buy?
Well, I got
Big
patches. I have them in my kit.
Cloak patches.
I do. They're right there.
I think with the burns and the now mucus and the fact that it is definitely a book of curses and ill magic, 1000%. It's called the Book of Bad Blood. So yeah, I think I'm gonna yeet this cloak
But
into.
Tana
some
feels
holy
bad.
fire.
She didn't know it was a special item to you, and she threw it on a fire.
It's okay.
Okay. Stitched by his father, who's missing.
If you can just cut off like the cleanest piece and keep that as a handkerchief.
Just keep it as like a little safety souvenir blankie that you just
Yeah.
sleep with at night, like in your hand.
My God. I'll keep the hood and I'll have Tana sew it into a hat.
There we go.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
A little
A little
cowl.
purple riding hood. Yeah.
Purple.
It's just going to get smaller and smaller over time.
Like a child's blankie.
Yes, exactly.
It's basically like a tissue by the end.
You pulled it up, and
there
you
are
can
people
see
that end up with like their blankies throughout their life, and it just gets smaller and smaller. I've met a few that they have like this, just like a square left of it, and they keep it.
Oh,
At one
man.
point, my brother's was just like it had silk lining along one side, and it was just like a tattered string of silk lining, like tied into knots.
Seraphina's
My
was
blankie
like
had that silk lining too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seraphina had one like that with the silk lining, and she gnawed it to death, so it pilled all up, and we had to buy another one because it was getting to the point where she didn't like it as much. So we started calling the old one Stunt Blankie, and we would give that to her when she was like sleeping at night, so she could like work it to death. But like the fresh one, she would get in the morning when she wasn't going to like wreck it in her sleep.
Wow.
Stunt
That's
blankie.
elaborate.
Stunt Blankie. That was the old ones all messed up.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for holding in there. We will be back
Thanks, everybody.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks to the new folks who jumped in. And thanks
Absolutely.
again to Morgoret, our wonderful moderator. You rock.
And to everyone who's here showing up.
No, yeah.
Participating
Yeah, everybody
in the
else.
chat.
You're great too.
and you guys too.
It was great to see all the great chats that were going on tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
I never get a chance to read them. I'm too busy.
I know,
trying to
you're
focus
busy.
on this. Sometimes
Yeah, like
I go
Little
back
Grey
and
Wolf.
scroll through them and see what I missed and then feel bad.
Like Lil Grey Wolf 10, welcome to the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm glad you jumped on and you like the podcast. That's
Oh,
really
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to D&D. You can do anything you want.
It's great.
can.
You tell a story with your friends and you have cool dice.
Yeah, you laugh and you get silly and you get weird and you make fake advertisements for wheels. So, like, Chad, you raise the bar every time. Every time you raise the bar.
Oh my gosh, that was genius.
You guys are just trying to out-add each other like every week.
I love it.
Also,
Have you
Callie
guys
and I
caught
on break.
the corporate war?
Yeah.
The corporate war.
Yeah.
No.
A holy corporate war. It's the worst kind.
On break, Callie and I were like, what is up with Vecna Corp? Why are they taking over this wheel shop? What's behind the scenes? Wheels within wheels.
What are they planning?
Oh, man.
Every time you guys do one of these, I'm like, how do I work in Vecna or Narul to any of this? Like, I don't know yet, but at some
That'll
point,
be our next campaign.
there's going to be a throwback to this at some point.
Some other whole storyline that's going on, and we're only getting like less than 1% of it.
Or maybe after the end of this, we step through another mirror and we end up in contemporary times as fantasy adventurers, and we have to tear down some giant American conglomerate company called Vecna Corp because it's poisoning the world.
Yes.
That you eventually
That you
realize
wanna know?
is run by a lich from your world.
Yes.
Yes.
Lich Bezos?
Perfect.
Wait, what?
Lich Bezos.
Lich Bezos.
Narul Gates.
Gates. Yes.
Oh my god.
Steve Orcus? I don't know. We'll workshop all that.
Stick around. You'll find out.
Yeah, stick around. We'll be getting crazier, I'm sure.
Find out next time on Misfit Table.
Hi, everybody.
Good night, everybody.